And I'd like to finalise this little series on fluid dynamics um, with money, right? Because people are saying to me, "Oh, you're fascinated with money." I'm fascinated with balance. I'm fascinated with order, right? And unfortunately, money has become part of that balance, right? That wasn't by my design, right? So um, am I supposed to ignore it? I can't ignore it because it can be leveraged against me, right? So there is no way for me to ignore this, right? It's irresponsible for me to ignore this, right? And then you get that confused with greed and all this sort of stuff, and ego and all that. Then you get confused, right? So uh, I'd like to finish this little series on fluid dynamics with money, right? That is the danger with money. The danger with money is we become ones and zeros on a screen, and we can teleport these ones and zeros all over the place without any consideration a kilter, right? You can't do that with fluids, right? It's impossible, right? Because the fluids are ruled by God's rule, right? The way things work, right? They can't be tampered with in such flippant ways as can be done with ones and zeros on computers, right? Paper notes and all that bollocks, right? That can't be done, right? So, uh, you know, if you want to look at a real system, you better using fluids, right? If you want to see how things balance properly, you better using fluids, right? Uh, that's not going to lie to you, right? And it's not going to be subject to error, right? Uh, whether there's, these ones and zeros on a computer and these things can be easily tampered with. Uh, Things that you couldn't do in terms of fluid dynamics. So, in fluid dynamics, just say you get a hole in your boat, somebody's trying to plug the hole in the boat and then they need to physically bail or pump out the water um, in the boat unless it's lifted from the water. So, you know, um, that is something that's going to take time, right? Somebody can't go, oh look, there's a hole, let's just ignore it. No, because then the ship will sink, right? And once the hole's been plugged, they're going to have to bail it out, right? Uh, so, uh, but this in terms of money, right? Where people are doing bailouts, right? Now, the reason why people are doing bailouts in many cases is just say somebody says, because it's been done to me, so I know this by practical example. People have nipped off my my incomings and what I've earned, right, and what I continually earn, right. Because many of these things are attached to IP and what have you. So I'm continually earning, right. And somebody goes, I'm going to prevent you from your earnings, right? But you're not just preventing me from my earnings, you're now preventing a lot of people from getting paid from my earnings, right? It's not really mine because, it only comes through my hands and goes directly out anyway. It flows to another part of the system. And then people go, oh, I'm going to damn you. And you go, well, if you damn me, you damn them, you damn them all. So, Ken, good luck with that one. And sometimes you go, well, fucking, I'll give you a hand. You want to fucking learn, again, you want to teach me a lesson, you'll fucking learn a lesson, what you'll do, right? Uh, I'll give you a hand, right? What's that you want to can nip me off? All right then, let's just do that. And let's just see what it does. Since you're that way inclined, right? Then you go, so you've nipped it off and look at the cascade effects, right? And then they go, well, we're going to be liable for that, eh? Ah, that's right, yeah, I'm going to be liable for that. You're a smart arse that's fucking nipped it off. So, how are you going to fix it? And then they've got their fingers in their ears and they're fucking bailing out here and bailing out there, right? And try to reroute things to there and reroute stuff to there because they've interrupted kind of like the flow. And you're like, no, what you're supposed to do here is you're supposed to just, reinitialize the flow. Don't keep banking it up and wonder why the whole thing's tilted on its fucking side, right? Because you're withholding a bunch of stuff that doesn't fucking belong to you. That's why, right? Sometimes people do that temporarily, to make things look a certain way within a month and reroute the order. But you go, all right, there's 1 month, there's 2 months, there's 3 months, and they're fucking their reserve tanks fucking buckling and overflowing, kind of like on one side, and the other side's parts to fuck. And going, getting a bunch of folk looking over and going, look at all that shit that you're wasting. Aye, that's right. Well, because you're a fucking greedy bastard and you start interfering in systems that you've got no clue how work. You've no clue what is the interdependency and all that is here, and you think, well, it's wise to start acting like a smart ass and fucking choking things off and rerouting stuff and pretending like magic that this is all got to get fixed overnight. Your behaviour will need to get fixed.